The story is about Oluwole, a young man that was born in poverty, raised in poverty, fed with poverty, and grew up with a wretched background. But as he grew older, he said to himself, "I can't take it anymore." With the help of a wizard, he used his manhood as a tool to get richer. He became not just rich, but very rich. Guess what happened at the end? I can't wait to start the story. Watch to the end and you will see how Oluwole was smarter than everybody. Oluwole was born in Akure Town, in a tiny house with a leaky roof and a creaky floor. His parents were as poor that even the poor called them wretched, but they had big hearts and even bigger dreams for their little boy. On top of this, they have good integrity and they are godly. The day he was born, it rained so hard that the roof almost caved in, and the midwife joked that she is scared that the roof may collapse upon them. Growing up, Oluwole didn't have much, but his clothes were hand-me-downs from cousins and well-wishers, and his toys were old cans and sticks, but he always had a big smile on his face. His mother would say, "Oluwole, one day you will be a great man," and he believed her, even if his stomach was growling from hunger. As a little boy, he often treks with barefoot the long distance to and fro to school. When he is back from school, he sells oranges for his mother. Despite the hardship, Oluwole loved learning. He dreamed of becoming rich one day so he could buy his family a big house with a proper roof. Life in Akure was tough, but Oluwole's spirit was tougher. Little did he know his journey was just beginning, and the road ahead would be full of unexpected twists and turns. Oluwole's life in Akure Town grew even tougher when tragedy struck. His mother, the heart and the soul of the family, fell ill during a difficult labor with what was to be his baby sister. The family couldn't afford a proper doctor, let alone a costly surgical operation. For the days, they prayed and hoped for a miracle, but it never came. Oluwole's mother passed away, leaving a hole in the heart and their home. Oluwole's father, a kind man with a gentle smile, was crushed by the loss. He worked tirelessly, taking on odd jobs around town, but no matter how hard he worked, they just remained stuck in poverty. Oluwole watched as his father grew thinner and more worn out each day. Despite the hardship, his father always found time to tell him, "Oluwole, we must keep going." They ate rice without meat and drank water from the nearby stream to wash their meager meals. Life took a harsher turn for Oluwole when his father remarried. His new stepmother, an iron lady with a voice like thunder and a glare that could stop a charging bull, ruled their home with an iron fist. From the moment she stepped into their lives, Oluwole knew things would never be the same. His stepmother had no patience for him or his aspirations. Instead, she treated him like a servant, making him do all the chores while his step-siblings played around. Before school, Oluwole trudged to the stream, carrying heavy buckets of water back home for everyone to use. His fingers blistered and his back ached, but there was no escape from his stepmother's demands. Despite the hardened body, Oluwole refused to let his spirit break. He clung to his dream like a lifeline, using them to shield himself from the harsh realities of his daily life. School became a sanctuary, a place where he could escape the tyranny of his stepmother, if only for a few hours. But even at school, he couldn't escape the whispers and taunts of his classmates, who teased him about his ragged clothes and wretched sandals. They called him many names: church rat, thin monkey. Oluwole bore their insult with dignity, knowing that one day he will prove them all wrong. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, Oluwole's resolve only grew stronger. He refused to be broken by his stepmother's cruelty. With each passing day, he found new determination to carve out a better life for himself, no matter the obstacle in his path. After finishing secondary school, his stepmother convinced his dad that Oluwole should not further his education so they could have enough to take care of the other kids. Oluwole had to become an apprentice, learning carpentry, while his stepbrothers, who were younger than him, went to universities. He took up his pen, aiming to turn his stumbling blocks into stepping stones. After many years as a carpenter apprentice, Oluwole finally gained his freedom. He could build and construct dining tables, wardrobes, and interiors for houses, but he was not established enough to showcase his talent to the world. He kept hanging around his former boss and friends. In a desperate bid to escape the clutches of poverty, Oluwole found himself growing more frustrated. At this point, he bumped into one of his childhood friends, Olajide. He saw his friend cruising around in a sleek Peugeot 504. Alright, how now? He greeted Olajide with a sincere smile. Olajide smiled back, but Oluwole was too ashamed to see a friend who had been a dullard in school now riding in a big car. Olajide asked his friend boldly, "So, what have you been doing lately?" Oluwole bowed his head in shame and was quiet about what to say. After some chatting, Olajide said, "Well, my friend, let us go and enjoy life this evening." Oluwole entered the 504 car and they drove to a good bar in town. Olajide pulled out a chair and sat down proudly as he roared, "Hey, waiter, give us bottles of beer here. Also, bring us catfish pepper soup." Oluwole was speechless, thinking about the last time he had ever entered a bar. Olajide was fluent, charismatic, and open. "Omo, let me show you the way. Do you know the foundation of wealth is a stench? You can't be suffering forever. Go for a shortcut, my friend. Enjoy your life." Oluwole inquired further. "You said you will show me the way. Which way, please?" "Well, drink your beer. No shaking." At Olajide's response, Oluwole was quiet and cold. The frenzied conversation just became cold. After some time, Olajide broke the silence. "Well, my friend, Oluwole, are you desperate?" "Wait now. Olajide, what do you mean?" "I am desperate. Please help me." Okay. Olajide drew a seat closer to Oluwole and looked around the bar to see if anyone was eavesdropping. "I will take you to a place you will need to do blood money. Are you ready?" Oluwole moved back his seat and relaxed his back, and the look on his face confirmed that he was not ready for anything called blood money. "But I don't want to shed human blood," Oluwole protested. Olajide laughed. His roaring laughter was swallowed by the music in the bar. Omo, you won't need to shed blood. Just some little touch here and there. And Omo, you will become a big guy in town. He laughed again, clapping his hand. His sarcastic smile confirmed that his life was diabolic. Okay, Oluwole, I will take you to a place, and the man will arrange for you the road to take. But I can assure you, you will not shed any blood. This one is confirmed. Confirmed one. Shall we go there now? Abba, Oluwole, relax now. We shall travel there. We shall travel to Shagamu. What? What? The journey is too far. That is over 200 kilometers. No problem. I will sponsor the trip, Olajide boasted. Within few days, they embarked on the journey. They traveled to Shagamu in Ogun State, Nigeria. Olajide parked his car at a fuel station on a major road, and they had to take a motorcycle to reach a remote village inaccessible by a car. They finally arrived at night and saw a very old man with long grey beard. The man narrated different ways they could become rich overnight, but the one that Oluwole preferred was an absurd one. The old man told him that his manhood would be exchanged for the head of a cobra. Any girl he sleeps with would cause the cobra hair on his manhood to rupture the girl's womb with his fang. The womb would then be teleported to the Baba in Shagamu, prompting Oluwole to quickly come for the rituals, where the old man will use the womb to make a bathing soap for him. The more wombs that were ruptured and teleported to Shagamu for the rituals, the richer he would become. Wow! Hooray! Olajide shouted, Owode, money has come. He asked Oluwole when he wanted to start the rituals and exchange his manhood for the cobra's head. Oluwole smiled in approval, indicating that he wanted to start immediately. They spent many days in the village with the witch doctor. Olajide was a great accomplice to Oluwole. He sponsored the materials needed for the rituals. Baba Osha, the witch doctor, solemnly charged him with the terms and conditions. He must sleep with girls and women at least 3 times a week. If he did not sleep with a woman for at most 21 days, he would become poor and wretched. He must not sleep with any particular girl or woman more than 3 times, and he must always turn off the light when he wants to sleep with any girl or woman. He must turn off the light so that his victim must not see the cobra's head. However, Baba Osha forgot to tell him that he would never be able to have a child of his own. This is because his manhood is fashioned to rupture the womb of any woman he sleeps with. On the last day of the ritual, Baba Osha told him that he must test the cobra's head between his legs. Oluwole quickly told Baba Osha that he wanted to ease himself. He went to the nearby bush to check his manhood, and behold, it was still intact. He went back to Baba Osha, stating that his tool was still intact. Baba Osha told him that the cobra's head would only appear when he is having fun with his victim, and that he must make sure to turn off the light and not allow any girl or lady to touch his manhood anytime he wants to do something like that. With cheerfulness, Oluwole got up and told his friend that they needed to go to downtown to test his tool of destruction. Olajide gladly obliged, and they went to town. They saw a cute, fair-skinned lady parading herself by a popular nightclub. After a little negotiation, Olajide slipped a little word of note into Oluwole's hand to act fast. Oluwole acted fast and went to sleep with the girl he had just met few minutes ago. Within a short time, they returned to Babausha. When they arrived, Babausha was smiling as they came in. He brought out a small hidden black pot. He opened it and revealed a small blood-soaked piece of meat. "What is this?" they asked. "This is the womb of the girl you just met today." Even with the protection that Oluwole used, the thing worked. Baba quickly prepared the concoction, and Oluwole had a spiritual bath with the blood-soaked black soap that Baba gave him. As usual, they took a bite to the fuel station where they had parked the car. Olajide opened the boot, and Oluwole opened his bag. Guess what he saw? His bag was full of brand new notes of cash. It was a celebration gallop as they drove back to Akure, rejoicing over the newfound breakthrough from the devil. Oluwole returned to his town, and the news quickly spread that he is now rich. He went ahead and rented a whole floor in the biggest mall downtown, starting his furniture showroom. He employed accountants, directors, marketers, sales girls, and he had several official cars for staff and trucks to move goods. He slept with as many ladies as possible, tall, short, fat, and thin. The more he slept with them, the more flesh filled Baba Osha's black pot, and he constantly traveled to Shagamu for a spiritual ritual. He saw bags of money almost everywhere, suitcases of money in the bath, in the boot of his car. Naira rained everywhere. One day, he met another lady named Tinuke. She was too pretty and irresistible to him. Each time, he remembered that he must not sleep with any girl more than 3 times. But in the case of Tinuke, he forgot Baba's instruction. Within 10 days, he had slept with her more than 3 times. On the morning of the day he broke Baba Osha's rule, he was woken up by a call from his driver at his showroom. His entire furniture showroom was on fire. He had to abandon Tinuke in a hotel and rush quickly to his office. While he was driving, he received another call that his dad was sick and hospitalized. When he arrived at the complex, behold, the plaza was in ashes. He had forgotten all his phones in the car with the glass doors open. All his phones were stolen, including his bags with all his checkbooks and hard currencies. The thief who stole his phone even drained all the money from his account. A chain of evil events befell him in less than 24 hours. His friend Olajide called him aside to a beer parlor. "Omo, I'm sure you failed in keeping to the terms and conditions that Baba gave you." "Oh, I just realized that I have slept with Tinuke more than 3 times. My God, I will need to head over to Shagamu today." But he was broke. Olajide had to finance the trip for him. Within weeks, he was with Baba. After finishing his cleansing and sacrifices, he went to a nearby brothel to use his venomous tool, and his money began to grow once again. He relocated his showroom to another building adjacent to the burnt plaza and started swimming in money once again. But he began thinking within himself, How long will this last? When will he stop all these trips to Shagamu and the bloodbath in Baba Osha's temple? Oluwole stood at the threshold of his newly acquired mansion, the magnitude of the building reflecting his newfound wealth. Yet, despite his riches, a heavy burden weighed upon his heart. He had married a beautiful woman named Kemi, but the oath he had with the devil forbade him from being intimate with her more than 3 times. Kemi assumed that Oluwole was a genuine man. After their wedding, the wedding night came, and Kemi expected her husband to consummate their marriage. Oluwole gently evaded her, saying, "Baby, I am tired, I am weak. We have our whole lifetime for this. Let me rest." The following day, he organized another trip to Shagamu for more spiritual rituals. Leaving Kemi at home in depression, Kemi began to think, which kind of man is this? Am I sure I married the right person? When he returned, Kemi confronted him. "Please, Oluwole, are you not man enough? You must prove yourself to me today." Oluwole remembered the rituals he had to follow and insisted on turning off the light. Their quarrel escalated until they finally agreed, and Kemi was satisfied. However, Oluwole was distressed, knowing he had only 2 more encounters with his wife. Oluwole's wealth grew. It grew more and more, but his happiness dwindled. He watched helplessly as his marriage crumbled. The love that once burned bright now reduced to ashes. Kemi, frustrated by Oluwole's excuse, sought solace elsewhere. He began to engage more in online dating and forming relationships with other men. Oluwole found temporary relief in his businesses and frequent trips to Shagamu. He even found solace in dropping off large sums of cash for Kemi, hoping to keep her happy. One day, he decided to cancel the trip to Shagamu and return home unexpectedly. He found another man in bed with his wife. He could not attack the man, knowing he had neglected his wife all this while. Oluwole's depression deepened, and he turned to drinking to cope. Tired of the endless trips to Shagamu and the strict conditions imposed by Baba, he decided to break free. He went ahead. He slept with another lady multiple times, breaking all the terms and conditions. Soon after, he was involved in a ghastly motor accident on his way to Shagamu. He was admitted to the hospital with a major fracture in his leg. Discharged from the hospital, he found that Kemi had left him. He had to sell one of his trucks to pay his medical bills. Once a mighty king of wealth and power, Oluwole was now stripped of all he held dear to him. His mansion, once a symbol of opulence, stood deserted. Desperate, he decided to seek another cleansing from Baba. He started another journey to Shagamu. On getting to Shagamu, he discovered that Baba had died. Gone were the days of lavish parties and extravagant feasts. Now, Oluwole wandered the streets of Akure Town, a shadow of his former self. The same people who once envied his wealth now looked upon him with pity and scorn. But amidst the ruin of his once great empire, Oluwole found a glimmer of hope in his darkest hour. He learned that the true value of wealth is not in gold and silver, but in the love and companionship of those who stood by him through thick and thin. Oluwole knew that he had finally found the true wealth, not in much of money, but in the peace of mind. I will be bringing another interesting video shortly. One thing you should learn from this story is wait for your time. I will be bringing another interesting story in another video. What have you learned from this interesting story of Oluwole? Have you ever met a friend like Olajide who misled you in your journey of life? Please subscribe to the channel, like, and leave a comment about the lessons you have learned. It's Adio saying goodbye for now.